All right, I'm ready to go if you guys are. Just kind of disappointed. I want to see what he's going to wear today.
Oh, I'll tell him.
I thought about dressing
Tell
up,
him I
but
miss him.
Coach, how different is this Georgia Southern offense in compared to the teams y'all have played in the past?
Right. It's very different. They do a great job of running option football. And when you run option football, offensive teams that do what they do, there's usually one or two defenders that they don't even block. They read them, and if they do one thing, then they have a counter action for that. And so because of that, they're going to have a blocker for every one of our defenders, and our defenders have got to be super disciplined in their gaps. They have to be able to play cut blocks on the perimeter. They have to be able to defeat blocks and make tackles, and everybody's got to hustle to the ball every single snap. Any given play, it can go to the house if you just don't handle your job properly. It puts a lot of pressure on a defense. They're averaging over 370 yards a game rushing. They lead America in rushing yards per game, and it's going to be a well of a challenge for our defense.
When you look at Georgia Southern, all of these guys play on the same high school teams together, but some kids end up getting recruited by Georgia and some by Georgia Southern. Looking at the roster, is it just a couple of inches here and there that separate these guys?
I would say that's a pretty good thought. I mean, you can't offer everybody. I mean, there's so many great players in our state. You can't get them all in the program. That's why everybody in America comes to Georgia to recruit our guys. And another reason why people come to recruit Georgia players is because the football is great. The coaching, the high school coaching is exceptional. So you got a bunch of great players, bunch of great football players that are from our state that are going to get after us. There's just no two ways about it, and we know that. And like you say, a lot of our guys know players on the team. We got Jeremiah Theus, the brother of Nate and John. So there's a lot of connection between these guys. And I think in some ways everybody's going to enjoy the competition, but on the other hand, everybody wants to win this game very badly.
Last week you had a very good output by your special teams unit. Did very well. I'm sure you'd hope for that the same weekend. Can you tell us why you had Terry Godwin back catching punts and not Isaiah McKenzie? We don't get to see practice, so we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, Isaiah was struggling. He had made a couple of poor decisions on whether the field to get ball or not. There was balls on the ground. Even his practice habits weren't very good. And Terry's were just better as far as ball handling, the kicks, and I mean, I watch every kick in practice, and if you're if you're not focused every time that ball's coming down, then it goes in my memory. And I just wasn't comfortable that Isaiah was going to secure the ball as well as he should. And I saw a lot more discipline out of Terry in regard to that. Now, what happened with Terry was, in the game, he was doing the right procedure as far as on a ball kick short. He was pointing the ball out. He was calling out Peter, which means get away, basically. But he's really kind of too far away from the ball, and so he just needed to get a little closer to show everybody where it was, so we get guys out of the way. And so it happened a couple times where it wasn't just quite like it should be. And let's face it, he's a young player. He's learning too. So that's when we decided, let's go ahead and get Isaiah back in there and let him do it. So Isaiah gets a kick that's short. He goes and fair catches it. And then the only kick of the day that was returnable, he took to the house. And, but Terry he's a dynamic return man himself. And so.
So this week you would have you go through practice again this week to see who returns punts.
Well, I would say right now Isaiah would probably be the guy to start the game unless something changes. Like you say, we got 2 more practices, and if I think Isaiah is not focusing like he should, then Terry will be back there again.
Time for one more?
What about Keith Marshall and his going to the draft? What kind of conversation did you have with him about that?
Well, if it was a month, a week, a few weeks back, somewhere along the line mid-season, he came to me and said that he was going to declare this as his senior year. I think he's graduating this spring, and he felt like he had done everything that he could get done in college, at the college game. And he said he's just ready for a new challenge of trying to play professional ball when the season's over. So he wanted to declare himself as a senior. He knew this game was coming up, and we honor our seniors. He knew the senior awards banquet, our gala. We honor our seniors, and he wanted to be a part of that. And the only thing he missed was the photograph at the beginning of the year where we put on the program. We'll have all our seniors. I don't think he'll make that one. We superimpose him on that. A little late for that, so already went to print. But that's what he said. So I honored his request. Quite frankly, if he changes his mind, he can come back. He doesn't have to do that. But right now, he feels that's what he wants to do. And he wants to have those ceremonies for him and his family.
What does that do for your depth, Mark?
One less running back.
I mean, we haven't seen AJ this year. We haven't seen Trey Crowder. I mean,
Tay Crowder. Well, those guys are here. They're in the house, and their day will come. You know, but like right now, we still feel we're good with the group we have, and Keith himself will be a lot closer to being ready for this game too. So that adds. I mean, he's not gone now. He's here, and he should be healthy enough to play this week and the rest of the year.